Bitcoin getting a massive bump to the upside. Trades banging on them. Everything kind of going our way here. You can see I'm up 111%. You don't need a lot to make a lot. You just got to see what's happening in the charts. Bitcoin ripping. Shorts getting absolutely squeezed to the upside. We told you Big Red was sitting there. We told you BOOKMAP had us at hello. You just had to listen. Shout out to everybody here taking some gains, selling into green. You know, don't be chasing the green. The rookies be getting in now, flopping and groping. We're hitting it on WEEX. You can hit the QR code, hit the link below to sign up to WEEX. Let's go, baby. We keep banging on them every single day. No days off. Gains, baby, 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 gains. Gainitis all day long. Let's go. Shout out to the lifers. 266,900 for Bitcoin, getting the pump that we were looking for. And the shorts got absolutely demolished and got their butts handed to them. They made it look so bearish. They made it look so down and out, and they had that sentiment in a spot. I got to manage the trade I'm in right now. Chad, I thought I was going to have to sell it before the live stream came out. I mean, what a pump this is on the 15. What a pump this is on the 4-hour time frame. Massive green candle straight to the upside. I feel like I got to sell the top of this green candle. I mean, we just topped 928. Got to be some type of 200 moving averages somewhere in the world that we're tapping. I mean, we're too far for the 21 of the 4-hour time frame. That usually doesn't continue too far. A lot of people, this is a good time to start thinking of when to short. You know what I mean? Even though I don't usually do that, I take my profits and rejoice. I'm in a couple of trades too. Remember, I'm still in those weekly trades, still in the monthly trade, up $3,000. It's a great day to be alive, baby. Shout out to everybody here. That's on BTCC. As you can see right here too as well. Trading on BTCC and WEEX. Simul exchanging. You know what I mean? Well, look at this. I mean, we got the stop. I'm going to keep raising it. I like to sell into green. I'm going to get the first one off the table here. This is an initial dip my toe into the trade to see where it goes. Wow, every time I get close, though, they send this puppy. There's so much buy pressure here. There's people just aping in at this point, and there's just enough shorts to get liquidated. It's a little embarrassing how sick I am with gainitis. Thanks for the infection. I'm so sorry. There's really no cure but to keep coming back. And more gains on gains. Hopefully, I don't know. I want to apologize to everybody for being the spreader of this disease. And I am patient zero. And I'm so sorry. People just keep getting sick. They're lining up. And it's contagious. Whoever shows up on the show and starts watching it seems to catch this virus called gainitis. I apologize. We'll do the best we can to help you. I really don't know if there is a cure. I really don't know. Sup, old timers. Shout out to my man, Jesse, man. God bless you, man. Been a while. Hope everything's going well. Dude, I thought about you the other day. I ruptured my Achilles playing pickleball. And I thought about you, jumping around there all day long like it's all good. I'm like, dude, this is crazy how this is getting on the 4-hour time frame. It's one of the biggest candles I've ever seen on a 4-hour. Like, these are massive candles on the 4-hour. Can they continue? It's unlikely. I'm going to sell into this pressure, man. I keep attempting to take something off the table, and they just won't let me. It's so funny. There we have about 1,600 in gains for the day. This is a beautiful... And I go for 5,000. And we've been in the trade since, about a little like yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning even. And bang, I finally had to sell. I mean, come on now. If you're not selling these pumps, I don't know, man. That's a beautiful move to the upside. And I'm still going to keep the monthly trade open. Like, I'm not going to sell this puppy. I'm going to let that thing go. Until we get up here, I'll move that stop to break even. It's 5,000 for 50,000. Long-term time trade. IREN getting some big news today. Big pump on the news for IREN. Looks like we can get another right shoulder. Could be one of the last times to buy IREN before it really consolidates. It's going to take its time, though. I like IREN for a long-term play. Somewhere up to, 130, 135. And what we could do is you can make gains in IREN and then put those gains into BTC. You can use the stock market to farm Bitcoin. You can use anything to farm Bitcoin if you know what to do and when to buy it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But banging to the upside. Shout out to anyone that took any of, any of the calls that I gave throughout the day. Yesterday, I've been long. If you watch my channel all weekend long, I was super, super long. Saturday, Sunday, I gave longs all weekend. And I said, I'm sticking long here. Said, I see a big move coming for BTC. And I think people, I don't know. There was just so much short action going on, and there's the 21 above the 200. I went on it there. They stopped hunting me. I went back at it. I got my money. I went at it. I called this bottom too as well. I even called this bottom here. It's still sitting on, it was sitting there. Did I get rid of that? Gosh darn it. But I had a beautiful bottom call just waiting there. And I'll show you, I mean, there's like 100 of them, but not 100 of them, but many. Point is, right when this was getting above here, we put a call in to put a stop loss, and that thing ended up playing out and getting a nice pump. Calling these bottoms here after the wick. Remember, I aped into the wick on the 4-hour time frame. I said we got to ape in, and that ended up playing out. Aped into this wick here too as well on the 4-hour time frame. That's still long if you were in the long. This is amazing. Bitcoin at 66,800 and a massive pump here for Bitcoin. Shout out to my lifers. I just took profits on the trade for the day. Hope you did too. Paid the trader. God bless everybody out here that may or may not have got into these massive gains. Juicy gains. Still in the S&P 500 trade. It's kind of backwards. It's still down 274, but that's a long-term idea too. So we got to stick to our conviction on that. I called this pump. Shout out to Crypto King. God bless you, man. We're close to the, remember all the bears that were out here the last week? Remember all the bears that said we were dumping? If is for everyone. If is doing damage. Look, we called if going back up to 002. If you're on the channel just yesterday on the 786 Fibonacci bounce from here to there, we pulled the fib from the from the bottom to the top, said it could bounce up the 786 and head back to the new target, and it did exactly that. We saw this and started talking about it. $456,000 market cap. I think I first looked at it at about 200, but I was like, eh. So that's about a 5x from when we first looked at it. So again, very high risk. But, this thing is just getting started. It could hit, it could hit 200 mil and make 100x from here. You never know. Something I might just chuck a little bit in, see what happens. But if continues to do some damage and showing signs of life, bouncing off previous resistance, using that as support. We now have some support there at 0019. What if, man? What if it just continues to rally? And then you can also say, this is a bit of a bull flag that in my humble opinion broke out and has another target. So I see this going to 0044. Only a matter of time, probably by tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it does double up again and we're at a $5.4 million market cap. Anyway, anything is possible. Keep your eyes peeled. Something's happening in the meme space a little bit on Robinhood, and you got to pay attention. Someone says they need a tutorial on it. We have all that information in the trading group. Type in Robinhood. And, I actually put this out the other day, too. And that's why you want to be in a trading group. Let's see here. It should come up. So let's see. So look, I put a message to the group, right? What is the Robinhood chain? It's an AI native layer 2 built on Arbitrum, Orbit technology. It inherits Ethereum security while offering much higher speed at lower cost. The chain uses Ethereum blobs for data availability as ETH as its native gas token. All right. First class account abstraction, ERC 433 support for gas sponsorship, batching, and programmable wallets. It's designed to bring traditional markets, crypto and DeFi together on one fast open network without intermediaries. Robinhood chain is an AI native layer 2 built on Arbitrum's Orbit technology and inherits Ethereum security. So there you go, blah, blah. It's designed to bring traditional, okay. The goal is 24/7 trading, lending, collateralization, and DeFi composability for these assets. Technical architecture and security built on Arbitrum Orbit, Nitro-based, settles to Ethereum. It's pretty hot. How to integrate the chain. As a regular user, add the network to your wallet. Easy. Official network details. Here's your RPC. There's the Explorer. Currency will be ETH, testnet, all that if you need it. There's your mainnet, though. You don't need the testnet. All right. Get a Robinhood wallet, native support. Get a MetaMask wallet. That works too as well. Then load up with Ethereum. All right. Common actions. Bridge assets via Layer 0 or other bridges. Send and receive ETH tokens on chain. Trade on Uniswap or other DEXes using lending protocols. Morpho, internet, I said Uniswap. Very simple. Uniswap and MetaMask. And then there's the information there of how to import the chain. There's your mainnet and everything else. I'll post this back to the group again, and I'll post it to you right here. So you have it. I don't know if it can come through all the way. Hold on, maybe a couple things I got to take out. I know it's not letting me send it because it's like a blink or something. You know what I mean? Something's not right. Anyway, 66,736 for Bitcoin as we get back into kind of what's happening here with the pump. But there's a lot of action. I just want to give everyone access to everything. That's what I do here as a crypto lifer. It's not just, some dudes are just left traders. I'm a DeFi guy. I was hard on DeFi. I found cake early at 60 cents. We rode it to $44. This is a real story in my trading group. Safe Moon, we did I100X. I cried like a baby. I mean, I'd never 100X before. I cried like a baby. 100X when Bitcoin hit 100,000. I bought it around $1,000. When it hit 100,000, 100X Bitcoin. I never thought I was going to 100X Bitcoin. It was the biggest thing. Everyone's like, oh, that will be, you know what I mean? You got to look for these little coins. And 100X Bitcoin in about 7 years, right? I got in 2017 and it 100X in, I guess, no, about almost 9 years, but still 100X, man. That's 10X. If you 100X in 10 years, that's 10X a year. 10Xing a year is huge. That's 1,000% a year. And who makes 1,000% a year? I did that. You see what I mean? Like, I could show a portfolio that made 1,000% a year over time. I mean, not every year. Some years it was down. Some years it was up, 10,000%. You know what I mean? It was the other way around. But look at Prev Super Chat. No, you should trade immediately. Facts. I remember the Safe Moon trade. LOL. God bless you, man. Man, Jesse. We're so early in the Robinhood chain narrative, man. So glad to see the potential. Yeah, I'd like to come on and talk about it if you're willing. I'll DM you, and we could kind of set up a time. Remember how Sunday was supposed to be the new cake? Remember that? Oh my gosh. Never happened. That's when DeFi kind of slowly started kind of peeling apart. Sex listings for if incoming. People say, that's usually when it gets a little rocky, though. A little rocky. We'll see. Shout out to Achi out there. Shout out to Crypto Achi. Check him out. He deep dives. Knows his coins, man. Finds out when things are hot, early bird style. He's always been hot, never gave up too. Fought himself through that bear market. And if things start to change, you dang well sure he's going to be one of the first people out there making some big gains. If you see anyone in a Bugatti, it's going to be that dude, man. Once in a lifetime trade, Sam. Bitcoin has an epic run. Oh, it did, man. It did. Respect to you, lifer. God bless you, man. Remember when we called the bottom? So much has happened for us, folks. Let's take a look at our top-down analysis. But Bitcoin just broke out huge in the 4-hour time frame. Massive pump today. Bullish pump. Come back for the bullish retest. Gone, baby, gone. And the 1 hour did its thing as it came back in a flag to basically come pretty dang close. So you could have played both flags. This flag, that flag. I looked at it as this flag here. I saw the measured move was this length to this length. Told me that's where we're likely going to go. We may not be done. But, man, I sell 70% of the measured move, and I'm out. I can't believe some people do me in his high market gap. That's nothing. What if the bull market starts now? What if we all become millionaires? What if? And again, if was also trending on X this morning. Look, if was also trending on X this morning. Let me take a look. It's not there now, but it was, I'm telling you. Now ZBCN was. Look, ZBCN, you saw that? It's gone versus, Today's news, but where's my trending? Hold on. You got to go back to home profile. There we go. Look, ZBCN is trending now. I take a look at that. I mean, if it's trending on X, that creates volume, folks. 2 and 2 together, simple. I mean, I traded Pepe once because Pepe was the first thing on all day long. It was Pepe. It didn't stop, Yeah, the daily's looking like it's on a bit of a double bottom. Falling wedge, very oversold. It could bounce. If it does move there, it could, there's a chance. I don't know. I'm not like running to get a table there at the ZBCN network dinner, but as a metaphor there. But look, could it bounce? Possible. I'd look at it. I'd more play like a 4-hour, 1 hour break above the 200. Look at it for, it's been good when it pumps. It does provide pretty good swing trades. Sending everyone love and kindness today. Thank you. Euro Lifer. God bless Ashy 107. Shout out to Lakochi Coker in the house. Regulating like he's got to. Shout out to the Nightbot always holding us down. Shout out to Mayo Mizuraki. Miyazaki. The core driver of the sell-off is Brian Rabbit Church laying in fundamental support. Compound healing, leasing wall, and transferring automatically to DEXE worth Interesting. He said, what's up with that? Let's take a look at DEXE. Now, I never, I like these swing coins. Let's take a look. I mean, everything lately in crypto has been, wow, all the way to 9. Look at that. And look, it made cat ears, though. Kind of made some type of cat ears when you look, weird. Look at on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, it made some type of double. I mean, that's a bearish pattern. Once this candle closed, bearish engulfer at 27, tells you something's going down. And now it looks like it's collapsing. People are selling it off. It's cooked. It's cooked. Never hold this coin long term. I just want to make that clear. We did call it at 350 though, and it made such a move. And from 350 all the way to 46. But man, this is why I keep saying all coins are very sketchy right now. And I'm like, be careful. Let's talk about ONDO. We talked about ONDO, said it was going to, and it's a bigger coin. Tends to follow BTC. We gave it to you on the daily. It was one of the coins that I trusted in on a move here. And let's take a look. ONDO did get the pump. Now, at first it pumped, then it came back down, then it continued. Let's clean up that little one there. Did not play out that Scalpelino. But this is the initial daily entry at 33. You're sitting at 40 now. You had to wait. We initially got in somewhere around here, right? And this was on Wednesday, the 15th. You had to wait 6 days to be up about almost 30%, a little under 30%, 7 on 33, right? 7 on 35 will be 20, But that's still looking pretty good to me. Now you want to kind of zero in on the smaller time frame. 5 minute looks like it could get busy. A little bit of bear div, but could it? You want to. The other day, Bitcoin had this exact pattern on the 1 hour, remember? And it's like a double top. I see a nice little pump here. I wouldn't be surprised if you could scalp ONDO in here with stop loss below these WEEX. You can get a stop loss below 39. Up to 43. I don't know. I think it's a 2 to 1. My mind doesn't see a 3 to 1. Yeah, 2.5 to 1. And it's high risk at this point. But look, that one played. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a continuation here. But you got to be willing to take the risk. 66,669. How did I know to sell? Because you got to sell when Bitcoin gets a little bit excitable. Let's do our top-down analysis now. What that does is it calms me down. Doesn't get me too excited. Yeah, I won a huge gain last night. Yeah, I gave everyone the call. Yeah, I'm the man. So what? I do that all the time. You know what I mean? I got to get used to that just like a loss. A win. No, not just like, I feel better than a loss. Another thing that I pointed out yesterday that I didn't see until yesterday was the fact that we already got ourselves the inverted head and shoulder here. It's a slanted, drunken, inverted. And this has a measured move. Once you break that neckline, back up to 93, 94K. Back to this line here. Kind of see Bitcoin calling its name there. That'll take some time. But it may not take as long as we may think. Sorry, I don't know where the mouse like disappeared there for a second. But, looking for something like that. Yeah, awesome. We got, it'll be by October 19th. We actually are back, at 90K. It could happen. I'm not saying it's gonna. My bigger picture says no way. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that's the aggressive move that could be on the table here for Bitcoin. Really strong move off the 200 moving average. And I told you to long right there. Stop loss below the WEEX. The weekly looked so beautiful. Right? Join my trading group at CryptoLifer.com. If you want it, you would have had this beautiful call here. You would have got into WIF at 500,000 market cap if you wanted. Or I said WIF, if. Also, another thing about it, remember, if WIF was big, now if is big, it's kind of interesting too. It's a play on that. Another thing I'm thinking about is, when Ansem came out, we were early on that. It's kind of, it's over now, the rally, whatever, but it was a good rally. A lot of people 5X, 6X, and those are the only two memes that I put out. I've been scanning the market. I don't put out a bunch of junk. And I don't love memes, but there's money out here, man. I pay attention. I'm a speculative investor. I will speculate on whatever is out there and find a way to make a coin if we can find it, So look at this falling wedge here. And I'm at the end of the day, I'm a survivalist entrepreneur. Both falling wedges likely to break to the upside. I like what I'm seeing here. Both accomplished their goals and some. This thing went like to the moon, like, you know what I mean? It made this flag and then this flag in the next move. Maybe we flag out here and go on another rally. You know, that would be kind of cool. Then we top out 205, 2030. We have to basically go in a straight line, though, to get to 200,000 by 2030. People think we're going to get hit 200,000. I mean, it could happen, but it's got to be if we I just look at some big picture ideas. Like, take this whole entire rally we just had. It took 3 years. You know, that takes years to get back to 170, July of 2029. It'll be a great 2.5 year run. Don't get me wrong. That would be a 3 year run, right? Anyway, I like what I'm seeing here. It's looking interesting to me. I pull a Fibonacci from even that impulse there, and you can see that we've come down from the biggest impulse. We've touched the 618, which is good enough. And from this impulse, we've wicked down to the 886. From this impulse here, which and I kind of take a collection of them sometimes when I'm looking at it, the bigger picture still says 618 Fibonacci retracement on a massive scale. So I'm bullish on the monthly because it's very oversold. It has hidden bullish divergence. It's curving up. And it's making a very strong case for a bullish candle here at 66,800 as Bitcoin continues to stay strong into the sell zone. The weekly has bull dip. That's going to play out over time. The indicators and the bots and the AI, they're going to pick up on this. They're going to trade into it. And the humans that can't handle it, which is, the higher percentage of people can't handle this. They can't see divergence. They're not going to be able to nail it. The people that do this every day trade on divergence. They're going to be able to nail it. You see what I'm saying? That's just kind of how it is. That's how this works. So if you do this every day like I do, you're going to be able to see what other people can't see, and you're going to be able to trade through your emotions. Your emotions will tell you to be scared, to sell, it's not working. You're going to buy more. I bought more Bitcoin last week, 28K. Look, I'm up huge on that buy. I told everybody, when you're at 5 twice, we hit 5 twice in 8. I have to buy Bitcoin there. I have to open up and start buying more. We hit 59, 60K. Those were the best prices for BTC. I kept saying it. We're now at 29. 29 is a good time to buy Bitcoin, but it's not 5. 5 is the best time to buy BTC. Beautiful. Let me see this. My daughter just finished this beautiful art piece. You put every little stone in place, right? With glue? Oh, it already has it. Okay, cool. Very nice. Very nice. Nice job, Summer. Way to concentrate and focus. Discipline. No TV. Anything that's better for the eyes and the mind. I like it. So look at this here. A shaded region. She's proud to show it to her dad. She loves that. Shaded region here. And I've been saying it over and over again. People are going to miss out. They're going to say, dang, man, that guy got it. If I was watching Bitcoin, paying attention. But I tuned off during the summer because it was boring. Bitcoin got boring, so I moved away. I got liquidated, and I couldn't handle it anymore. It didn't work out for me, so I walked away. You know what? Multimillionaires, the top 1% are the people that never walked away. 90% of the people that don't have what they love or, always, I wish one day I could hit the lottery one day and have that boat I always dreamed of. Or go out and get that boat you always dreamed of. Live that life. For me, I walk around downtown like Oak Bluffs here where I'm living, and I see all the yachts that pull in every morning, every day, in the afternoon, and there's so many people with money. I see so many houses on the water. There's so many people that got it. I say, why can't you have it? Why don't I have it? Why can't we have it? Why can't you be the one that has it? You see what I'm saying? Why aren't you the one that has it? I mean, look at all the... Dude, when I go back home to Sarasota, I'm going to see so many mansions on the water. So hundreds and hundreds of them. Why can't you be one that have it? When I come here to the vineyard, I see so many mansions that look over the white. When I go, you could travel the world. So many beautiful mansions. Why can't you be the one? And again, it's not just about mansions. You could have a farm. You could have sustainable living. You create airships. Do whatever you want with your money. But man, it's amazing. Look at this bounce here back to this area. $73,050. Okay? Off the 200 moving average. Oh, so important. I kept telling you this was key. If we had lost it, yeah, there was a chance we went to the 200, but that wasn't that far away. So basically, the odds of the bottom were so high. I've been screaming this was 90% chance the bottom, and then we came a little bit lower. You see what I'm saying? And we made a bullish divergence on the weekly. You don't get that. The last time we got that was the absolute bottom. I'm screaming that the chances of this being the bottom are higher than like a 95% chance. But again, And I bought it like it was, and I've traded it like it was, and I've now called longs on on just the swing trades here. 5-day looks good to me. Look at the bullish divergence on the indicator I use. Green. That's so rare. You don't see that on the 5-day. Last time was there, and on a low point like that was right there during the pandemic low. Like, it's crazy. And a little bit right there at the bottom. Like, this is a rare signal. You get it 1, 2, 3, 4 times since 2019. You get this signal 4 times in the last 7 years. A green on the stochastics RSI on the bottom. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I'm saying? This indicator calls it tops and bottoms. I mean, look, then it called the top there, red R. Only red R up there, red R up there. That was the top. That was a topping period. That wasn't perfect there, I don't go by 100%. But the bottoms, man, look at that. And it just, and again, and I use a multitude of things to figure out where the bottom is. But divergence on the big time frame, I'm buying so much Bitcoin. And I'm not letting anybody, when this happens, the news is so bad. Look, we have a head and shoulder pattern. The news is horrible. War's coming. Risk on assets. Kevin Warsh, right? They weren't going to cut like they said. It's over. Inflate, you know what I mean? Bitcoin's going to zero. Peter Schiff starts telling you should have sold at 80K. People start unloading. There was a few whales that sold all their Bitcoin down here. It got crazy, folks. This is where I buy more. This is where I continue to face fear and continue to push. This is where they bug out and can't see the light. 66,823. Bitcoin's still so strong right now. And this is, remember I kept saying we want to see a close above this high. Same day on the 5-day. We want to see a close above this high. We close above this high. That's it. We made a new high, folks. That's a beginning of a massive trend. The 5-day chart, when we made a new high here, it wasn't the best. You got to come through with the higher low. This time it looks like we will because we have a very strong divergence. That time we just had a bear flag. No strong divergence. This is a very strong bullish divergence. I'm telling you right now, it's a very strong setup. 3-day chart getting lifted. I love it. And then we talked about this daily breaking out of the flag, and we went over this many times. And I said the daily's headed to the 200 moving average. First thing is the 21. The 22 is headed for the 200 there at 70K. So is the 12-hour. I'm telling you right now, this is headed to this yellow line like a magnet. With about 90% accuracy, we're going here. It's going to come down a little bit. They're going to meet somewhere likely around $68,000 to $79,000. I'm not closing those big longs. No reason. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is trucking along. We're going to win these trades. We're going to continue. And eventually we're going to get this thing to stop, break even, and going to have a free ride. That trade could last 6 months. The 10-hour getting above the 200 moving average, a big deal. The 8-hour getting above the 200, a big deal. Pumping up to the 200 when the moving average is at its height. Write this down. I teach this. This is it's a huge edge because other people can't see it. And then trading the 21 when you're above the 200. I'm telling you right now, I say it every single day. We do it on the 1 minute constantly. You see me scalp the 1 minute with this exact signal. I shrink this down to the 1 minute and I trade it the same way that I trade the 4-hour. If I trade it on the 1 minute, I got to trade the 4-hour. Once you're true to one thing in trading, you got to be true to it forever. I learned that trading is an all or nothing sport. Like, you have to have a system that you go all in at, or you don't have a system. You can't sometimes use the system and sometimes not use the system. It won't work that time. What's interesting is trying to think of the best metaphor. I used to use this raining metaphor, right? If it says there's a 68% chance of rain, then you go out with your umbrella every day. It doesn't mean you're going to use it, but and then highly likely that you'll use it more than you won't, right? That's what setting up on the 21 above the 200 is. It says there's a 68% chance of money raining on you if you do this. It doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. But it means the more often you bring that umbrella, but if you don't bring the umbrella every time, right? Oh yeah, this is the metaphor I used to say. I love this. So they tell you that it rains 68% of the days where you live. And that your plant needs, that amount of water. Okay? And so the guy that gave you, maybe a florist makes your garden, gives you some plants, and he says, these plants are fine in this climate if you keep them outside. because they'll get 68% rain. But if you put them outside once and then inside and outside and inside and outside, they may or may not get 68% of rain. They may one day get all the rain in one day and then no rain, and then you may put it out every day. The point is, you're only going to get the value of the percentage by keeping the plant on the step every day. It's a beautiful metaphor I created in my own mind. I didn't read it in a book for trading. So, like, I show up every day with my plant, and I put my plant on the doorstep. And it rains money 68% of the time on my plant. Doesn't mean it rains on me every time. I took some losses last week. You saw me. But I traded right through them, and I got all my money back and more since then. No stress. I stayed true to my plan. I didn't skip, just because I got stopped out maybe there, or I think this was the one that they got me there, doesn't mean I didn't set up here. And I continue to go out what I believe was true because I've put years of backtesting into this. And that's why if you do something for a long period of time, you won't get thrown off by emotions. I've been backtesting this for so long that just a couple of days of bad emotions for me don't throw me off. They used to because I didn't have a basis. My basis now is my data points. My data points you can't break with emotions. I say, no, this has played out more than it hasn't over time. I don't need to listen to my emotions. They don't make sense in this situation. In this place, this doesn't add up, right? So we're looking for this to either consolidate. It might continue to pump, but you're looking for it to consolidate, and it looks like it could go pretty early. Might even pump here. And let me see, the next big leg is this leg here. That's realistic. So 68.8 and then up to 69.9. Funny, right? Let's take a look at BOOKMAP and see what's happening to BOOKMAP on the order book. Shout out to everyone that signed up to BOOKMAP. I appreciate that. I do get a small commission if you sign up. They do not sponsor the channel, but I get a commission. 66,000 for, now says there's a bunch of people that went long late. These are the late longs that now have stops that could get hunted. You see, every pump creates a bunch of people that jump in late. Every dump creates a bunch of people that jump into the short late. Short reverses, pump reverses. This is kind of the modus operandi of price action. Look at the 15-minute, made a beautiful move up and down here, pump. And, we could even look, what I'll do is I like the 15-minute. It's a great intraday. When things get hot and you're getting a lot of pumps, the 15-minute is a good time, a good moment to slow down and watch what's happening on price action. 15-minute will teach you a lot using the 21. And look, now we're getting the 200, time to get in is now. Time to start scaling out of it. The 200 and the 21 are getting far apart. We're going to need them to consolidate again now. Be nice if it takes its time, dumps and comes up and makes a bigger consolidation, pulls in the 200, we get a pump there. Where the moving averages coincide again. Get really tight again. Wow, 870. Bitcoin looks like it may not be stopping here. Does Sammy regret the loss? The selling, right? Not the loss, but selling. Feels like a loss sometimes when you're not in the trade anymore, right? Wow, 66,885. Just an unrealistic green candle on the 4-hour time frame tells me that it's just a pump of unrealistic nature. Wow, a big double bottom there too, though. A bit of a double bottom. Flag 21 above the 200. Technically, we should go to 67.6 here and just on a massive pump. That's what TA says. Cool if you can come on down. I don't know how I switched that fast. Cool if you could come on down here. Back to the bottom of the pattern. Get tight again, but this thing might just continue. Today's one of those days where the shorts are just getting absolutely rocked. The trade you're seeing in loss down there is the S&P trade I've been in for now. I think about almost, since last Thursday, right? So about five days, and counting the weekend. Shout out to anyone that made gains, and other traders. Solana would have followed this. ONDO was getting the pump, so ONDO would have continued to pump. Yeah, baby, I'm really excited, man. I love, turning those losses into green, pumping through, trading right through it with positive energy and positive mindset. and making it happen for myself and making it happen for the traders in the trading group. You guys are like really, really like a motivating factor in my life. I don't know what I would, because after you've made some money, enough to kind of feel like money has hit all the, you say you were a guy that was going to Texas Hold'em, like you were a Hold'em player, and you had these dreams, and you went to one of the tournaments and you hit big, and then you hit big again, and and then years later, like you're sitting there playing and you're like, it all happened. Like I'm not saying it's sad, but there's a cool reminiscent to the person you were who had never made it before. The person who never made it, it's kind of like the guy who's looking for the new land who never got there. Yeah, he doesn't know if he's going to find new land. He doesn't know if he's going to be remembered. He doesn't know if, this courageous adventure he's taken is going to actually pay off. There's something about being in the moment when you're doing something and you don't truly know whether it's going to pay off or not. That's special. If you look at everyone that ever made something of themselves, they were in a place where they weren't sure it was going to happen, but they're all into it anyway, and that's why eventually they became amazing. See, amazing is hidden in the unknown. I found this out one day. I said, how do you become amazing? How do you become well-known? Like the average person will do what is easy and will do the obvious path. 90% of people will just take an obvious path through life, really, from the age of 10 to 90 years old if they're lucky to live, 75, whenever they pass. God rest all our souls, But the average person will just live, But a few percentage of people, very small, will go after their dreams, will change their life, will rearrange their entire generational system for their family, right? Will create generational wealth, and will do something to be remembered by. And that's you guys. That's the lifers, man. Someone in this chat is going to do something so amazing with their life. I know it. And they're going to be remembered for something unbelievable. I hope everybody here does, I hope this is the select percent of the people in the whole world, but through here we can. Everyone here should believe that they can do amazing things with their life. Everyone should believe that millions of dollars is no big deal. And it's not about money, but when you have money, you can be free from the shackles of life. Go where you want, when you want. Be your own boss when you need to be. Travel where you need to be. Bring your family where you want them to be. Hey, what if you have a boss and you got to be at work? Okay? You're a chef. You work as a baker in a bakery, and you show up to that bakery every year, and the bakery makes $10 million a year, and you get paid $200 grand, right? And if I had my own bakery, I could make, you know what I mean? But he has the location. Then you'd be, you already signed a non-compete. You're in the same town. You'd have to move away. You have friends and family. The kids are in school. There's all these, people get stuck, man. And there's all these reasons why you can't do something, why you're not able to move forward. And we start making excuses in our head. I did this for years, folks. I started making excuses in my head why I couldn't get somewhere in life. And then there's everyone else's fault. Why? Because it doesn't feel good to blame yourself. You're already not feeling well. So if you blame yourself, it's like, now it's like, and then you don't have the motivation to get out of it. So if you blame yourself, now you're like, well, I really can't get out of this. I put myself in it anyway. More negative self-talk, more negative behavior, and it brews negativity. Before you know it, you're living in a negative space, but you don't even know you are. And you say you wake up every day, I'm gonna do the best. I'm a positive person. You repeat the mantras, you listen to the right videos, but you don't live the sauce. This was me, folks, struggling to change my life, struggling to do something different, struggling to go after something. Eventually, I said, no way, I'm going to have to just go after it no matter what. When I started streaming, and I didn't care whatever happened, like I wasn't after money, I just said, I'm just going to do something every day to make myself feel consistent. And look, now here we are today. I love this whole story because it's not even about the money. It's about the brain and the mind. And once you decide to be consistent at something, money's going to follow the consistent person. If you're consistent at hockey, you'll become one of the best. You'll go to the NHL, you'll get a good contract. If you're consistent at pottery, eventually your pottery will win an award. Eventually someone will hire you. You'll sell a good piece. Maybe you'll make your own store. An online products will sell. Like, you'll make money. You'll be successful. If you really work hard as a musician, yes, and that's one thing too. Some musicians make a lot, so it depends on where you put yourself. And that's where it comes to manifestation and not just working hard. You got to manifest good things that come into your life. You got to believe that something great is going to happen to you, and you got to think about, you got to really focus. At night when you go to bed, you have to be like, I'm amazing. Good things are coming to me. I'm going to bring happiness and light to my family. I'm going to change my legacy. I've got this. I can. I am the best. I can. I will. I am the best. You got to speak positively to yourself every single moment you can. You got to build yourself up every single moment you can. You got to take a deep breath and say, I got this. I can. I am. I got this. Like, I got this. I can do this. No one can do this but me. You know? And just be super grateful, man, for everything in your life all the time. I'm telling you, I've used these two strategies. You know what? One day I was doing 1,000 things to become successful. And I looked at successful people and I saw they were like, one guy owns a bakery. He wakes up every morning. He checks the grain. He checks certain things to make sure everything's fresh, because if those ingredients aren't fresh, the bread doesn't taste good. His customers complain. He doesn't get good reviews. So over the years, he found out what to do. And he checks those little things every day. And next thing you know, he has a great product. And he's figured out what to do. And now, because he has a great product, the reviews go well, he can expand to another location. And he does the same thing at that location. Then he trains someone meticulously to leave. And then he lets them off. And then he comes back. He checks. He does secret shopping. He makes sure his product is spot on. And once that manager solidified, he knows. He has a backup plan in case something happens. He may open up the next store. Next thing you know, 10 years from now, he's the most successful, bakery in the whatever, because meticulous daily behavior created his success. This is the same in every single thing. Like right now, AI can bake bread, right? But if you're known as an amazing bread maker, your name and your brand is going to be amazing. Then you can use that brand. Then you can train AI to make the bread, but you get it? AI can never make AI is never going to make a trusted brand. I mean, maybe it can. The AI brand that everyone loves. Oh, and AI made that. I love that. I buy what if there's companies that AI creates? They call multi-billionaire companies. They're owned by AIs. It's kind of creepy. Someone behind the scenes owns that AI. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to act like AI owns everything. Just a great way to act even more anonymous behind the scenes. It's a great way for the rich to become even more silent. Oh, it's the AI doing that. Even though it's like, Berkshire Hathaway. But they'll never let you know they actually own the AI. Right? Anyway, the fun was last night. I'm telling you, we woke up in the morning to a huge pump. Open up the trades last night and going to bed was, again, a beautiful play. I'm still kind of looking around to see if there's some potential move here. It is getting very tight on the small time frames. I'll tell you that. But it's high risk. It's always high risk, right? I mean, it's life, right? Life is risky. It's funny. People think, I don't want to take a risk. I used to sit there and I had my paycheck. I was making $1,800 a week. But, it was 9 months a year. Then I'd have to look for another job. Sometimes I get comparable, but sometimes it would be like 16, 50, 17. But it was all right, but maybe not as much overtime. Sometimes I didn't want it. I worked my butt off for 9 months, heavy overtime, constantly, never home. Then I'd take a lighter job for 3 months, until my next job came back. I'd get a big contract on a TV show. They'd last 9 months. Then they always take a hiatus. The actor wants to take 3 months off and be with his family, and, he's a rich guy. So that always, so the production always stops. I was on Kevin Can Wait with Kevin James. We did 2 seasons, and then we got canned. I think did we do 1 season? No, we did 2 seasons. I thought we were going to get a 9-season run. But look at that. Had that kept going, I might still be on that show right now. You see what I'm saying? Like, when the show got canceled, I was like, I was like depressed. I was making tons of money. I had a cushy office. I drove into Long Island in the morning against oncoming traffic. You know what I mean? Traffic was going out to the city. No one was driving into Long Island. I had to be at work at 10. Everyone had to be at work at 8, 9. So by the time I was on the road, it was nice and quiet. It was a beautiful commute. I used to take the train to work every day. Now I was driving to work. Nice and easy in my car with the radio on, meditating, listening to Jim Rohn a lot of times. Listening to business, Qualcomm, hearing about the stock market, or playing symphony music just to kind of keep my mind at ease. Changed my whole life. You know, those drives from Queens into Long Island. 45-minute drive. I kind of like this. It's high risk, though, for sure. Just going to go 3 for 7. I missed a really good potential. It's kind of like an inverted head and shoulder. You see it? I'm going to ape in here, and I might lose 300 on the ape. I very well may. Oh, come on. Then they got me again on the... See, I just chased that. It's kind of lose my odds a bit. I'll go for the double bottom. I really have to kind of creep down there. Might easily get stopped out for 247, but that's a strong double bottom. I like it. Looks like a shoulder, head, right shoulder. Cup and handle. Bit of a flag. 21 above the 200. Potential pump here to 67.6. They may want to flatten these late, these shorts again. Looks like shorts are getting absolutely punished today. And big money's been buying Bitcoin behind the scenes, and I've been saying it, talking about it, tweeting about it, going over it all the time. We're starting to get a bit of a pump here for BTC, folks. This might actually, this scalp may play out here. 1,800 in a 33x leverage. It's about almost a whole Bitcoin in there. About a $60,000 trade. 63, something like that. But 199 million in short liquidations wiped out in 24 hours. Bitcoin pumping hard above 66 flash. Flushing leverage bears out of the market. Crying bears spilling from every apartment window. The squeeze is real. Why KC? What does KC mean? You know what I mean? It's like... trying to think what KC means. Funny. Because AI made that, I come up with ideas. I'm like, oh, show me a bunch of bears. I said, tell me how many liquidations were made. I want to put a post about the bears. You know what I mean? Bang. So, like, your mind can come up with what you want to post. Then you could fine-tune it. So, like, you're still the driver of the ship. AI just kind of makes it a little neater and cleaner and faster than it used to be. It makes you produce quicker. That's all. And we did nail it, man. Bitcoin is flying. The 24-hour delivered again. Stops moved into profit. I'm live breaking down what's next for Bitcoin. I love that. Look how beautiful that looks. Amazing. And there I am live right there on X, baby. Doing what we does. And I may lose a live trade here. You never know. I'm down 48. Let's see. And I'm down on the S&P. Technically, this should dump. I chased a little, and this should come on down and dump on me. We shouldn't get a pump because we're too far on the bigger time frames, and I should move on. But this is my weak point. I always kind of, because every once in a while, 1 out of 10 times, this will rip. So I'll just risk a little bit of what I just made. I won't risk a lot. I'll risk a little bit. And there's always a chance that I still get in. Well, I went through the whole song. That means I was focused. Let's take a look at what's happening. So DEXE, the big loser, man. Crazy to see my baby. The beatdown. 72. ONDO up 18%. So we didn't give a lot of trades the last few weeks on altcoins. I talked about DEXEing into VVV around 10. I talked about getting into ONDO on the daily. And I like ONDO right now on the 5-minute time frame. Looks like it may continue further to the upside. It does depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin starts kind of dumping hard, but if Bitcoin can kind of hold 66.5, go back and forth, make some chop, the chance ONDO could pump out of this high-risk 5-minute. That's a scalp there. And I'm already getting back into that action. 10 days I leave, or less now. Yeah, 10 days. And we go from there. Up still $3,000. Beautiful, beautiful trade here on BTCC. Looking for this big. So we come up here. Then we probably come back down. Then we come up again. It's going to take its time. Looking for this. This might be the inverted head and shoulder here. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. We might just rock it. This is interesting here. I didn't look at this until, I think it was yesterday. I didn't, sometimes your mind just doesn't see it. I'm looking at the charts every day and my mind didn't see it yet. That thing could just be, we'll bullish retest, we'll make a bit of a flag, and then boom. The measured move of the flag, and this thing will just be boom, boom, boom. It'll be like November by the time we're like, but dang. 66.6 for BTC. Let's take a look at what's happening to my trade. Yeah, right. It went down fast. Look at that. Ooh, ugly. Good volatility. They may pump that back up just for a second here. Give me a chance to get back out at evens. But that's ugly. That's crazy. I knew what I was doing. I was taking a heavy risk, and you got to know too. Don't get mad at me. Don't no trade all day. Take that one trade and then say I stink, man. These are my little baby trades at the end. I make $2,000. I throw $300 in there. You know, $238. I risk 10%. You know what I mean? It's called risk management, folks. And watch them wick me out and pump it. You never know. I'm okay though. I'm done. When the 1 hour and the 4 hour get this far away, I like to nicely walk away for the day and come back in the afternoon because it tells me it's going to take at least till 6, 7 p.m. And I do this all the time. I sell during the show and then I come back at 6, 7 p.m. and I get back in the trade. I hang out with my family and it's perfect because I get to hang out with my family from 12 to 5, 12 to 6. Then they're sick of me after 6 hours of dad, right? They want their own time, play their game, do their little, they're girls. They do their girly stuff. I've pushed them on the swing already. Right, the second I get off the stream, my daughter comes down. I have a swing in the backyard right now. Daddy, can you push us on the swing? And I never want to be remembered as the dad that said no. I was watching, Patrick Bet-David the other day, and he talked about a guy that wants to hang out with his son. And he said, whenever I call my son to hang out, he never wants to hang out. I want to watch a football game with him. I set it all up. He says he'll be there. He doesn't make it. And he says, when he was younger, I was a mechanic, and my hands were always dirty. I came home, my back hurt a little bit. And he said, Daddy, I want to play. Let's just throw the Frisbee. And his mom would always say, leave Daddy alone. He's tired, right? He never really had time. So his son now doesn't really make time for him. And I remember that. And so my kids are going to remember whenever they ask me to play. And yeah, you can't say yes every single time, but I like to say yes 90% of the time. So my daughter says, hey, Dad, every day, though, between this time, Daddy, can you play with me? And I have to say, I can't play with you right now. It's between 10 and 12. Daddy has to work between 10 and 12. And usually between 7:30 in the morning. She tries 8 in the morning. Every once in a while I break down. I play with her for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I got to get back to the charts. I can't do this anymore. I miss a pump or something. Or, the group suffers because I didn't pay attention. Like, I got to be on call from 7:30 to 12:30. And then I got to kind of watch the market throughout the afternoon to make sure I don't miss something else. And as long as I'm on call and I keep watching it and I have enough skill and enough know-how, I don't have to stare at it. I just have to kind of double check because I've been doing it for so long. I keep the group like heavily intact and I keep us all ready to go. We pick up from where we left off from the last night's update to the morning update. I don't think anybody does it the way we do it with our book mapping of how we look at the charts. We do the nightly update. We do the morning update. We connect what we said the night before to what we say the next morning. We readjust if we have to. Like, you don't get an update on Monday and then it's Thursday and I say, oh, hey, by the way, you get constant updating of where we're at, what we're doing, and what we're seeing. If you're long with me, you know that I've been longing this entire time and I've been looking at the bigger picture this entire time. And I've been saying, man, the daily looks interesting. The 3-day looks good. The 5 days starting to go our way. And I've been showing you that things are starting to go in our favor. This is a battle right here. I'm somehow still in this trade. I don't know how. There's a chance it bounces back up. Every time it turns green, I'm like, okay, give me, I just want to get to break even or cut it off for $50, $60. It would be awesome. Doesn't look like it's going to go my way. We did get a candle close there, a strong one, a green one there on the edge. And again, the action, I love Monday nights. I'm telling you, man, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Opening trades at like 9 p.m. at night. If we already see it, if we have consolidation and it looks bullish and I long on Monday night, oh my, I can't tell you how many Tuesday mornings I woke up to money. So many times in my life. It's like it feels like, I don't want to say it because it's not clockwork, but it feels like clockwork. They call him Sammy Gaines, right? The never hitter the everyday hitter, never quitter, Sammy P, man. You're going to learn how to trade with me. I'm going to force it. I'm going to force feed the information. You're going to force it. You're going to understand how to use the 21 and the 200 when we're done. You're going to know support or resistance. You're going to be able to find a flag. You're going to be able to find consolidation. You're going to know when to wait to get inside instead of chasing green candles. Once I'm done with you, you'll never chase a green candle again. You'll execute, you'll project, you'll look for your 21s, you'll enter trades. You'll get away from the 21, you'll sell pumps. It's simple, folks. I'll teach you how the markets work. Every single coin does this. Forex does this. Bitcoin does this. S&P does this. The NASDAQ does this. Everything follows the Sammy way. I uncovered the way the markets work. I uncovered the matrix inside the matrix. That's why I'm telling you, I'm your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. I'm your favorite analyst's favorite analyst. You watch a YouTuber or an analyst and they're hardcore, there's a good chance they watch my channel here and there, because we don't stop and what we say makes sense. And you can't fight the truth when the truth is staring you in the face. We are a mirror for the truth at this channel because we show up every single day and do the same thing. Well, I told you that 4 hour was likely going to pump, and it pumped. It wasn't based off some nonsense. When I tell you ONDO's in a flag that likely could play out, there's a good chance. There is some bear div there, I get it. It may just come on down. Maybe Bitcoin dumps. But you got to see the potential in probability here. And it can be in your favor. Probability can be in your favor. And so we use probability in our favor. Remember we were talking about Ethereum. We're going to get into that today too as well. ONDO, the big winner though, and the last 24 hours, and we gave you this ONDO trade. Almost every little piece of it. DEXE, you'd think, was a good short anyway. It was so extended. Not saying it was going to dump like that, but it was very extended. You don't buy something that's pumped from like 27 to 50 to almost 50, right? I mean, it was extended. SEI, I like to play back and forth. Virtuals, I like to play back and forth. ENA, I like to trade. Let's take a look at some altcoins, have some fun. First, start with Aster. I still hold Aster. I believe in it. It has a use case, and it's like the decentralized exchange for Binance. I mean, I don't know how it doesn't win over time. I see it eventually Adam and Eving, whatever. I own it, so I'm going to probably be a little too bullish on it. Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a bounce here. There's a chance this flags out, and I actually win this puppy. I thought I was definitely going to get stopped out of here, but now there's a chance I win this trade. Kind of triple bottom there. Okay, let's take a look at Virtual, which I believe I looked at it yesterday. Another use case coin that can do damage. And you can see people are, okay. Why do these coins do well? Because they have the same setup as every other coin if the market's looking good. Not every, but 90% of coins all look somewhat bullish in the 1 hour. But then a coin with a use case, people will start DCAing into. So not only will it have a pump, but it might have a more sustained pump. More realistic, because people are actually buying it for a reason. They're not just buying it to make money on the pump. They're buying it because the coin itself works or does something that's meeting a desire, that's fulfilling a need. I see that as a fake out, came back down, broke out again, and then broke this high. 1 hour looks like it's almost like about to go parabolic. Four hours a little far from the 21 though. But the bigger picture is is it in this, I wouldn't be surprised if it just goes on this just kind of bump up to 76. Bitcoin could do something crazy in the next few days, and just the whole market will be forced to follow it. So it either comes back down here and gets tight, or it goes on a pump. Either way, I see it eventually hitting 76 in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We take a look at the Forex calendar. I told you this week was going to be awesome for us. Nothing today, nothing tomorrow, and just the unemployment rate on Thursday at 8:30. And this week was shaping up to become a nice week so far. We'll see. I'll jinx it, and then we'll see what happens. Getting bearish again on this flag. Not looking at looking like it's gonna nicks me out there. 172.38. We don't need to split hairs, right? And then let's take a look at Oh, yeah, the CME. You know, the CME hasn't been that great, and it hasn't really changed much. We need to see some drastic positioning. That hasn't happened, you know, something big. But in 8 days, it says there's going to be no rate cut. It's going to be flat. It's going to be nice and flat, and it's going to be a nothing burger. We get to hear Kevin Moore speak again. We'll see what happens. It is what it is, right? Like, it's, you know, we'll go from there. No guarantees at all, though. I mean, nice little move there. Double bottom on the 5. That could still play out. Still see how this could double bottom its way on out of here to the upside. It's not just over yet for my little mini scalp here. They're fighting, and look at the 1 minute. Just took a nice wick back up off the channel moment, off this bottom. I had another 1,000 to the day. It would be so sweet. At least to 500. I'd like to get up to that, to a higher point, but we'll see. Shout out to everyone that made gains with the Lifer. I'm so grateful if you showed up today and you learned, or if you were around this week and you got paid with me. May God bless you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. We're doing great, and I'm very happy for everyone that's here. Stream's looking good. Hope everything's going well with you and yours. May God bless you all for being here. And just thank you for jumping on in. Try to change a few things on the stream. I still get a little bit of, like, I like it to be perfectly clear. I feel like I still get face buffering, which I figured out a way to get rid of this at my house. You know, once I get back in 11 days. And when I started the stream at the beginning, it was gone. It's like I upped the bit rate and it tend to work. And then, you know, I don't know. But then I get, it's weird. Anyway, it's good enough, but I just see buffering on my face, which is annoying. If you're watching on your phone or something, though, it looks fine. I guess it's good enough. But if you're really zoomed in on a really high-end monitor like I am, it's kind of annoying. And what's weird is it was perfect at the beginning, and I messed with something. I'll keep changing a couple settings until I get it right. There's a couple things I can flip on and off, but every once in a while it updates and it changes something. Look at this, man. Price action, vicious. This is the 3-minute time frame, by the way. Looking to see if this flag may play out. I believe it shouldn't. The 4 hours is just way too far from the 200 moving average. I mean the 21. It's actually probably the best time to open up a short. 1 hour's getting a bit. If that closes, you know. Doesn't have a wick up, though. You usually want to wick up and down. Now that there's no wick up, this may just, it's kind of crazy. So chance that we're going parabolic out of a rising wedge, and like we're just kind of about to get started. And we just flattened these shorts to 69,000 on some craziness. So you're telling me there's a chance? Look, they're bad. They're trying to get me out of here, though. They keep toying with this low area. They're toying with the 66.6 area. Playing with it. Let's take a look at Ethereum and ETH BTC. We were honing in on it this week. We were kind of showing you that ETH looked pretty bullish. And if Bitcoin got the pump, there's no reason why Ethereum shouldn't get the pump. We talked about an entry there at 1879. It is at 1931. And you'd be surprised if you trade ETH like I did the other day. A move like that can be pretty, you can make a lot of gains on like a $100 move, $50 move. Anyway, this is, I see it maybe coming back down, bouncing, getting tight. It could double top and come down, but I like this move so far. A little bit more tightness for maybe 14 to 16 hours, maybe even 24. And then a breakout coming. See us holding this level. Stop loss down below the 200 moving average, and you can start to move it up. Once we pump to here, you move to break even. Once we're up in here, you start moving it into position. And then once we're there, I mean, you start taking profits or putting it in here. And, you know, knowing how and when to use your stop loss is kind of part of the game. If you don't use a stop loss, you never learn this. Some people never use a stop loss, but there's a really good ways to use it. If you don't use it, then you can't learn how to use it. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. Like, if you don't ever have a stop loss, then you can't learn. Like, I got good at, I used to not use them, think I was better than it. Now I know when to move my stop loss, how to put it into break even, when to put it into break even. Like, there's so much cool stuff I learned by actually doing the right thing. If I didn't do the right thing, I would never learned any of that. It would have been every time I had to be right or wrong, liquidation or not, no stop, like I'm all in or all out, and then just like trying to catch bottoms every time. And I've seen people make massive amounts of money. They just catch the bottom trade, you know. Or one of my friend traders, you just need to catch that one trade to pay for everything, man. Just that 100x trade could change your life, bro. Just one. I mean, yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, man. It's like saying you're a landscaper and like just one job is going to be the one. Like, no, why don't you just be a consistent landscaper to keep doing the right thing, and each job will add up to another job, and over time you'll end up in a better place, right? You'll have a good business. Everything, it comes back to simplicity, folks. I don't have a lot of friends. You know, I know a lot of people, but physically that I hang out with physically on a day-to-day basis, I hang out with my family. My 3 daughters need my time a lot, and so does my wife. And then the screens need my time because there's thousands of people that connect with me through the Discord. So through my life, I don't have a lot of time to play around. You know, and I can't just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump over here and waste an hour. My time is very valuable. And I learned that. Jim Rohn taught me. He said, multimillionaires, Sam, this is what Jim Rohn said to me. He said, Sam, multimillionaires value their time way more than the average person. He said, you know, they really think about who and when they spend their time with. When they relax with someone, it means a lot. It's someone they've curated a beautiful relationship with. When you work 7 days a week like me, you don't spend your time that you barely have, you know, of relaxation for random reasons. I want to learn something. I want to gain an edge. I want to have some fun. Those are the 3 things I want to do on my off time. I want to meet interesting people that can change my perspective on life and help me see things from in a new way, and that share their personal stories with me, so that I can learn from their life, just like they can learn from mine. That's my goal as a 43-year-old man with 3 daughters. You know what I mean? And that's it. I don't go to the bar. I don't drink with the buddies. I don't go golfing and then, you know, gamble on golf and drink with the buddies. Most guys gamble on golf, drink with the, my friends do all this. My friends, I saw them do it. Before I had kids, they would take me places, and I knew, you know, whatever. And, yeah, I just don't do the average dude stuff, man. I'm kind of boring, but I also have a very focused life that produces very well 7 days a week, so I can't complain, man. No, I'm not whining at all. I'm telling you that I listened to Jim Rohn, who told me the life of multimillionaires and billionaires. He described it to me, and he said it's there for you if you want it. But it's not the average life that you thought that everyone has around you. Like, you're going to have to live a different type of life. He's like, I'm going to bring you into a whole new way of thinking. This isn't how your uncle thinks. It's not how your dad thinks. It's not how your family thinks. Maybe a little piece here and there. But I'm going to change your whole thought process on reality. And he did. He made me, I thought completely differently about how money works. About so many things in the world. Jim Rohn said, if you're unhappy with the amount of money you're making, it's the amount of value you're bringing to the market. See, no one ever said that to me. They say, oh, my boss, I should make more money. I'm like, well, what are you bringing to that, you know? Find a job that will allow you to bring more value. And I said, how do you bring more value to the market? Right? Bring more value to the market. I used to sit inside a cubicle and just work for a company, and they paid me my hourly rate, and that was the value I brought. Now I can create a 2-hour show that YouTube uses for advertising that creates value, because advertising is valuable. Topics talked about are valuable. Attention time, you know what I mean? And now the show actually becomes a medium that produces, and then it gets replayed over and over again for the next 24 hours, where people get to meet me and get to know me. And I get to connect with people around the world when I'm not even there. What did I make, right? Boom. I've now created more value, and I've created value that can recreate itself over time. Amazing. So I wanted to change my life. I created more value. Jim Rohn explained that to me. He said, Sam, if you want more money, you need to produce more value for the marketplace. The marketplace is waiting to reward anyone who produces more value. I used to think it was if you were a trust fund baby, your dad knew somebody, you were connected, You know, because it's my dad always said, and I took on that philosophy. He did always tell me hard work paid off too, though. So there was a little bit of there was some and we get grown up in a lot of contradictory statements. You know, we get told one thing by our parents and then shown another thing. We don't realize what that does to our subconscious mind over time. We get kind of frazzled. You have to rebuild your subconscious mind. If you're middle class like me, and you grow up in a middle class neighborhood, you were taught certain things about rich people that aren't true. That they're kind of like in this like invisible suit that you're not allowed to touch. That they have access to things that you don't have access to, and that's why they're always going to be richer than you. They have the lawyers. They know the people. You're middle class. You don't have any business having a big-time accountant. You don't need a lawyer. That's for the big-time rich guys. You stay in your lane, you know? That's how I felt. You know, thank God my dad had a friend that had his own business. Every time he drove away in a new Cadillac, I remember my dad going, see, he wrote that Cadillac off. That's a write-off for him. He just writes that thing right off. And I'm like, a write-off? Like, what is... And I think my dad knew what he was saying. He didn't know the exact paperwork and, you know, how it was formed. So I learned that. And as a young kid, I kept saying, write-off? Write-off? What's a write-off? By the time I was 28 years old, 29, you know, and then by the time I was about, I don't know, 2000, about 10 years ago, and I was about 33, I incorporated myself, you know, figured out what write-offs were, started my company, my media company, and, you know, got an accountant, understood how to do business the legal way, the proper way, understood how to form, you know, a company. Now, you know, I do rental properties, I form LLCs. I must have 7 of them or something. It's crazy how many little companies that I've formed over the time. And you'll learn this stuff too, you know, as you kind of grow, because you're going to have to know where to put your money. If you make enough money trading, you're going to have to know where to put it. Can't just keep throwing it in trading. That's high risk over time. Eventually, you could make the wrong trade, right? Or just continue to speculate. Eventually, you got to put it in something that's not as speculative. The idea is to go into the market. The idea is to work your butt off, make a paycheck. For me, I'm not a financial advisor. This is what I did. So I'm going to tell you my life story, but as an outside kind of view without like personalization to it. But, you know, man went to work. Man saved money. Man lived below his means, right? While his friends spent their entire paycheck on drugs and alcohol, man saved a good portion of his paycheck, you know? You know, found a way to abstain from some of those things and save his money. Eventually, man figured out how to save money. You know, $1,400, you know, whatever, his how much he made a month and how much his monthly fees. He was able to save 60 to 70% of his paycheck, which is huge. And I did that. I was making at 1.8 grand a month and my rent was $1,450. If I even ate really well and spent $1,000 on food that month, and maybe if I spent $2 grand, still $3 grand. And I was running a business. I had write-offs after taxes. I still had like $6-7 grand to spend. And I only had $3 grand in fee. You know, I had $4,000 left over every month. And I got addicted to making it higher. Some days I was like, can I save $6 grand this month? Then I'd work overtime on top of that, you know? So I was already winning with no overtime. Then I started taking overtime. I said, why not? I'm already doing this. I started taking overtime. Now I'm really winning because those overtime checks were just completely pay. And I was making big, you know, it was $800 for 10 hours. I was getting paid, and I was only going in for 4 to 5. Overtime, I was there alone on a Saturday at a different company. And union is, you can't make me work a day. A day is a day. And so I'd work 8 hours, right? Some days I'd put 10 on there and hit them with 2 double time hours. And I'd be there for like 6 hours. Tops. It's looking like it's going to turn into the descending triangle, see? I'm out. No one to be out. No one to fold them and no one to hold them. I'm done for now. I'll lose my 200 honorably. I just added a scalp at the end to see if I could win an extra bit. And I should have known better. The bigger time frames don't look amazing. It's time to short, I believe. I just got stopped out here on WEEX. Sorry. I was moving it around. Been doing that a little too much lately. I'm sorry. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. ENA just looks like it could make a nice flag on the 4 hour and eventually pump. Might come back down. However it comes to the 21, I'll be paying attention. I'll put alerts on it so you don't have to in the trading group, and I'll let you know when it's hot. I do this to thousands and hundreds of coins, and I keep you guys up to date on what's happening. Ethereum looks good to me. Looks like it had all the way up to 2,300. 64.66 for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean it's over for now, but it's over for me on that long-term trade. I mean, on that scalp trade. Long-term trade still open. Okay, the real sauce listed newbies. Yeah. Sam, is there a 3-month benefit doing LLC nesting? When umbrella LLC owns other benefit. You know, I want to do that where I own like an anonymous company that then holds the trust, and the trust holds this, and I want a trust that holds everything, and I want to own nothing. That's the plan. So on this pump, let's take a look. Did Bitcoin get a little bit back, or to me it looks like ETH can continue this move. So Bitcoin crawled a little bit back against Ethereum. Might be a little pullback there. See if this level can hold for ETH BTC. Might chop back down, but eventually it is going to go on a run. Even if it comes back down one more time. Someone said night is pumping, but then they said it was also dumping. I don't know, so interested. Dude, it's pumping. It got absolutely demolished. Something happened to night overnight. I don't know what went on there, but look at that. I mean, the launch was 8 cents down to a penny and 8 cents and an 0.8 of a cent. Bitcoin's looking like a redhead stepchild, and I don't know. No more Bitcoin for me. Funny. What are your thoughts on silver? I just think it's going to come down to the 618 more. Consolidate a little bit, find some bottom, and eventually over time be higher. If you long-term buy silver now, it will go up. I just think Bitcoin's a better buy over time. Like you better it's almost like putting shingles that are going to be modern to last longer, but you want to go the old way and put the same shingles on. You can make money with gold and silver, but I think Bitcoin's new shingles, like, you know, it's the better flooring. It's the better, it's the better way. Wow, night is in the dumps. Yeah, you could say it's pumping, but I mean, oh goodness. You want to catch a falling knife for the 1 minute? On the 15? Be my guest. If it gets above the 200 moving average on the 15, maybe there's more. 5 minute looks like, okay, fine. 5 minutes in a flag. And you look, again, see how this touched the 21 and pumped? Not even you have to trade this, but you learn from this setup here. That's how we traded Bitcoin in the 4 hour. It was the same trade. It's the same stuff. 21, yeah, white line, yellow line. I do this all the time. But look, we'll go to BTC and we'll hit the 4 hour time frame. And this is so important to show the juxtaposition of the trading. But if I even just look, white line, yellow line. I'll buy the white line. Put the stop below the yellow line. It's really simple stuff. Like, you buy the white line, you put the stop below the yellow line. Like, don't be greedy. Use proper risk management. Have a plan. And bang. Exactly. Circle had a nice bounce back up to 70. Not bad, man. You got in at 60.93 as we discussed it. Now up 15%. Not bad. Seems like a double bottom. You're definitely buying a higher low. Up there, sorry. Hey, man, we said that falling wedge could break back up, and it did. Could start a journey back to the daily 200, just like Bitcoin back to 93. All right. I buy the white line. You're funny. Alien, you're funny. Yeah, man. Boom. Biddy going to Zerb. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to Dusty Hunt. No, definitely not. So funny. Okay, so now what I like to do in this part of the show is talk to the lifers, man, and jump on into the fan funding in the live chat and see what's cracking. We have Tipper John Yoon. He says, greetings, comrade. Multiple exchange listings currently in progress for Inf on Robinhood Chain. You heard it first here as honorary true Korean and my comrade. Thank you. Appreciate it. You have a great call on that IF token. How do we buy these Robinhood beams? Is it on the Robinhood app? Bang. It may be on the Robinhood app, but I just explained how to do it. And I kind of gave a tutorial in the trading group. It's there. Just Google Robinhood. Even if you paid $99 to join my trading group, just for that tutorial. People don't realize how much information is in there. It's so much value. It's a little embarrassing how sick I am with gayitis. Thanks for the infection. Shout out to Rave Song Records, who stayed on point and continues to pay himself. Jesse, sub-old timer, God bless you, man. Thank you for being here. We're still so early to the Robinhood Chain narrative, man. So glad you see the potential. Oh, I always see there's money out there. Can what if on Robinhood hit 20 million? It could, for sure. Facts. I remember the Safe Moon trade. Oh, man. And Stack McChange. I will do numbers in every lifetime. Love is love. God bless Stack McChange of the house. Member for 30 months. That's insane. So God bless you all. Thank you for being a part of the Lifer crew. And shout out to all the awesome super chats. No one really asked for nothing either, which is awesome. You guys just asked about Robinhood, said nice things. We even saw a celebrity in the crowd here, Crypto Archie, up in the game with his and giving a super chat. Thank you, Crypto Archie. God bless you, brother. Shout out to Jesse. Been a long time coming. Love you, Jesse. It's crazy. Sammy, I'm ready for a bit-funded account. What's yours looking like? Go check it out and take a look. I made 4 trades in a row that played out nicely. If you want to sign up to Bitfunded, go to the link below and sign up to Bitfunded. And it'll give you an awesome, and I give challenges every once in a while and help you get through them too. Take the trades that I say have a high probability of making and use those to pass pass them. The gainitis, ooh, it hurts. You give so much, what more can we ask of you? Hey, I see 81K in a crazy 8-hour chart pump. That'd be amazing. But we're going to pull back here, and I'll just, this is just kind of how it works. So do you short the market now? That's what people want to know. I usually don't. What I do is I've been in game. Think about it. I open these trades. I've been adding to them, meticulously moving and waiting for this move. Now I get to relieve myself of all the stress of the pump and enjoy my day. See? Like when you're in trading, when you're in the long all night, like before I go to bed, I saw my trade and I was like up and I took a deep breath and I say, I hope I wake up and I make gains for the lifers. Like I hope it plays out. Right? So let's get back to what we're seeing here. We have a resistance here, right where we've come before. We got a pump further up there. 22 and the 12-hour both still look good to me. Use this as kind of your frame of reference. We broke out of the ascending triangle, right? Looked really nice. Said it was going to happen. And then we got a bit of a measured move. So we know that we should continue to 72.5. Like this move should continue. All right. 4 or 5 more green candles on the 22-hour time frame. 4 hours should go too. So what do? We use the 1 hour for continuation. There's definitely kind of some bear div here. This swings down. That swings up. The 21's away. You got a little heightened. We pumped, man, for 10 hours. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you pumped for 10 hours. 14 hours we were on. Right? I slept most of the time and we made money while we were in bed. Amazing, right? Other people actually had like in Dubai, they were actually like they were awake for all that. And you know what? Even watching a pump sometimes can be a lot. I might have sold early, but I sat there in bed and it played out for me. Gains in my sleep. We have a song for it. We used to do it all the time here on the channel. We still do. So this looks like it could continue. The bigger time frames say yes. 4 hour and up all say good. So now you need to find ways to get in on a smaller time frame. When the daily is chunky and ready to go, I use the 1 hour to enter. When the daily's sideways and you're not sure, and the 1 hour's chunky, I use the 15-minute or the 5-minute to enter. Different time frames for different times. They're like tools in your tool belt. Today, the 15-minute and the 1 hour to me are the go-to time frames to pay attention to. This could go shoulder, head, right shoulder, dump back down to the 200. This would be the area you'd be looking for. 65.5. You see what I mean? Or we go sideways. 8 hours from now, you have a right shoulder to short, or maybe 2 hours from now, you have a right short, 2 to 4. You have a right shoulder to short, or you have a sideways price action to take in. And that's just kind of how it works. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live, the real Don D, holding me down, talking about the 8-hour 200. Talk about Michael Dulce, the gainitis. Ooh, it hurts, my man. Shout out to One House Productions, G-Band, Honda Man. God bless you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers, folks. Come on. This is the Crypto Lifer Show, the greatest show on earth. Let's go. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. Come on. Like, seriously, I have 1,000 people here. 350 likes. What did I do wrong? I called Bitcoin. Maybe a lot of people were, counter-traded the Lifer. I don't know what's going on. They're not happy that I made the gain. This thing ain't over yet. There's a lot of red above us still, suggesting that we do come and get them later on tonight. Up to $68,000 for Bitcoin. Morning, lifers and lifettes. Shout out to Crypto Clown World TA. Thank you for jumping on in. Shout out to FUD Expert. And shout out to the awesome, amazing lifers. New York guy, NY guy. Could be an M on the daily. We'll take a look at that. Shout out to B. Calf, my man. Shout out to Some Home Riviera Maya. Love that. 333 inside that comment, baby. We just forget sometimes, boss. Hey, God bless you, man. Thank you to Sifa Kalik. Shout out to Cherry City Bullies. Counter trade the lifer. I love that. How's that? You're still in that short, man. I'd be scared, bro. I wouldn't be in that short. Bitcoin Tutor stepped away for a while, put you on my living room TV, and my autistic kid recognized you. So cool, man. God bless you, man. I hope he's having a great day. And you can let him know that I am wearing pants today. You know, just in case some people think that I mail it in with boxers on like Kevin O'Leary. You know what I mean? God bless Kevin O'Leary. I don't mean it, you know what I mean? I never want to like, you know, hope he's doing okay. But I did see a live stream him one time where they zoomed out and he had like polka dot underwear on. Like whether it was a joke or not. And he had like a beautiful suit on. He was all decked out. Like, looks like he had like, almost like he had a three-piece. He was like ready to go. And then boom. Sitting there in his his flip-flops and pajamas. Shout out to everybody here. Remember, the viewership is lighter on the summer. And to keep the show going and to keep things strong, we need every one of you to show up and hit that like button and keep it moving. That's why I'm, and yeah, someone said I'm begging for him. Yeah, I'm pushing for him, man. I want those likes, baby. I desire as many likes as I can get. Please, dear Lord, send them in. And thank you, dear Lord, for all the likes that you did give me. I'm super, super grateful for all the likes I've ever gotten on this channel. And they continue to come in abundance. I hope I help you. If I haven't helped you win, I hope I do help you win soon enough. If you're watching the show and you haven't made a trade yet, if you got the education, or if maybe you made a couple trades that didn't work out, you're not so sure. I hope I win you over and my consistency helps you eventually make some gains. I hope the education here eventually provides an opportunity for you to win. That is the goal, folks. That is the goal. Sam, you have to do no pants Sunday. No, for sure. Sunday, guys, they got to wear pants on that day, if any day. Givers gain, you got to give to get. Shout out to G-Bane. Shout out to you for being here. Thank you for jumping on in. And remember, Bookmap, man, check what the candlesticks are hiding. Go to Bookmap. I got a link to the video to that in the description. And you can sign up, and you can put other things in there, too. Ethereum, all different. There's like 20, 30, about 20 coins you can go on. All the bigger ones, Sol, Ethereum. Might even have AVAX, right? I'm always here, Sammy. Much love, brother. Shout out to Rudy 007. Shout out to Cars to Crypto. Reliable J holding me down. Life should come naturally, not by farming. You're so funny, man. Shout out to Calvin for hating. God bless you, man. Thank you. Sam, what do you think of the NASDAQ? I like the NASDAQ right now. Let's take a look. It's got a little, it's not as beautiful as Bitcoin, obviously. I'm more bullish on it, though. And I was looking for the bounce. Let's take a look. I say, I'm long on the NASDAQ. Look, I have a long right down there on that wick, So apparently I put a long down there. And I believe it's a good time to long. We'll go shoulder head. We'll make a bit of a right shoulder. Then we'll pump back up. We'll go sideways. And I see the NASDAQ continuing to pump. S&P also looks more bullish than the NASDAQ. It's just got it's got a nicer flow. Bit of an inverted head and shoulder. I see this headed back to the top of the channel. Probably going to come back down again. And when we hit the top of the channel here, I knew we were going to kind of pull back. Even there, I'm expecting these hits to pull back, to hit the pullback. But I see this tight, and the S&P I'm bullish on. And I see it going to 8,400. Might take some time. It might be, I don't know. Doesn't tell me when, but, guessing by this, it could be like October, November, December, Thank you for teaching us discipline and dropping daily knowledge. Blessings to you and your family. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. I naturally liked it. Thank you. Yeah, I fell through a glass door. I was bleeding out right above my main artery. I like to share this story some days, and the blood was just gushing everywhere, and I was holding it as tight as I could. I ran to the hospital, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't easy. It was tough. It was insane, actually. My wife just walked by. I kind of want to ask her about it. Remember that day, babe? You don't? You don't remember that? Why won't you come talk to me? You don't feel well, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry. She doesn't feel too good today. She's a little down. A little respiratory. A little coffee, little headache there, you know? Otherwise, she would come on. She looks lovely. She's the crypto wifer. The greatest wife on earth. Seriously. Nice. It actually showed up. That's amazing for that guy. I was thinking about that yesterday. Today is the day. They did a good job, man. They were quick on that. Put out one of your signature ties. That'll get you the likes you're after. You're so funny, man. No ties today. Look, I'll just do this. I've seen this before. What is this? I've seen stuff like this before. What is this? I'm not high end enough to know. But they'll just be like, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Well, I have seen something it's like a tie boot. It's I don't know what it is. I've never done. I haven't pulled that off yet. All right. We'll see. Anyway, a lot of liquidations coming. A lot happened today. You know, Hut 8 and IREN. I kind of want to talk about that. Bitcoin miner Hut 8 signed a 15-year, $9.8 billion AI data center lease that fully commercializes its Texas campus, while IREN announced a $2.8 billion in new AI cloud contracts and raised its revenue target. Both stocks surged double digits and lifted the broader mining sector. The deals underscore the pivot for pure Bitcoin mining towards high-performance compute revenue. This is positive for miner equities and signal stronger balance sheets that reduce forced selling pressure on Bitcoin. Interesting, right? So they could use it to make other revenue, but they don't give up on the Bitcoin. And they keep their Bitcoin running. 10-year holds near 4.6% on geopolitical risks, and the dollar index steady near 101 amid inflation fears. German ZEW sentiment surges well above forecast, and the UK labor data mixed as claimant count drops sharply. U.S. hits Iran's 10th night, tankers ablaze in Hormuz. The United States conducted a 10th consecutive night of airstrikes on Iranian military targets, including command centers and military sites. I thought they were all gone. Are they unlimited? You know, Iran hit back at U.S. positions in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan, while tankers were attacked or caught fire in the Strait of Hormuz. With crews abandoning ships, this keeps a fifth of global oil and gas under service. Bitcoin didn't care this time. It's one of the first times that Bitcoin did not give a dang. Houthi announced naval blockade of the Saudi shipping. The Houthi, Yemen, Iran-backed Houthis declared they will block Saudi vessels from Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Red Sea Gateway, warning shipping companies against using Saudi ports. Trump slaps 50% tariffs on a wide range of Canadian goods. Ukraine launches 400 drones, and U.S. gas prices climb back above $4. All this is telling you that Bitcoin is strong, which is kind of crazy. But Bitcoin's made for uncertain times. It's a hedge for war so you can move your value around. If you have to go country to country and hide value, you stash it, you sell everything you can, send everything you can to a friend's Coinbase or to your Coinbase, right? Someone, whatever, sell everything, you sell everything at your that you can. Using, whatever you can, using cash out. Right? At this point, most people have that much cash. If you sell cash, go to the bank, deposit it. Buy as much, Tether as you can at Coinbase. Put it on a hardware wallet and get yourself out of that country. I mean, there's no other way. And now you have access free and clear of the banking system, free and clear, you know what I mean? And you can start over anywhere. Start fresh again, decentralized. This is the beauty. That's the whole point. I thought that was the whole point, to save people from the destruction of governments and corrupt countries. Cryptocurrency was supposed to be the saving light, a guiding light. Now the big institutions want to control it and make it their own. Follow me, man. We're putting out so much awesome information every single day, including a key data point video every day that teaches you how to look at the markets in an interesting way that can show you so much interesting things. So stay tuned for that. No, these videos are awesome. If you check out my profile every single day, I'm going to give you a talking head video, right? Something like this. They're going to be between 30 to 55 seconds, under a minute of your time, and they're going to give you a lot of information. Let's watch the last one that I just did, just so you can see kind of what information is coming out of these videos, because they're really good.
Corporate Bitcoin adoption is a story of one company buying more Bitcoin. Institutions see something much larger. Every time another public company adds Bitcoin to its balance sheet, it expands the universe of institutional participation. Retail traders celebrate the headline. Institutions ask, is this becoming a repeatable treasury strategy? That's the real question. As more companies explore Bitcoin as a reserve asset, corporate adoption becomes less about individual purchases and more about structural shift and capital allocation. Think about that, right? And this doesn't happen overnight, but every new participant increases Bitcoin's credibility inside traditional finance. The takeaway is simple. Don't just count how much Bitcoin companies own, watch how many companies decide Bitcoin belongs on their balance sheet. That trend may become one of the biggest long-term drivers of institutional adoption. Save this video if you want institutional.
So it just kind of, and it is a plug for the website and it's a plug for me, but there's good information in there. Every time I do one of these videos and I rewatch the video, I'm like, dude, that's great. I said, I want to use that information to help me. You got to be careful what you play there. It gets crazy. Anyway, so we're looking for a little bit of bounce. This could make a right shoulder and take us further down, or it could start to consolidate. It's going to take some time. You're not going to know if we make the right shoulder for about 2 hours. You're not going to know if we consolidate for about 6 to 8. This is going to take some time. The real pump was on. Maybe it just continues to rip. That's why I'm keeping the weekly trade open. I also have a monthly trade open on another exchange. I don't really, Anyway, it's been open for a while. Strategy lifts its cash to $3.2 billion and holds Bitcoin flat, right? But I smell a buy coming on pretty close. Another thing I want to talk about is the volatility indicator for Bitcoin. It flags potential turbulence. Its 30-day implied volatility index is sitting at a 34 to 38% zone, and that has preceded sharp volatility spikes. So just one thing I want you to understand. I think it's going to be a sharp spike to the upside, right? We're going to go through this gap here pretty fast. 81,000 is clear. We can get back there again, just like we did it the last time. We got this whole pump last time, if you remember, from April 1st on. I called that. I'm really good at calling these bottoms, and we're good at nailing them. So here's a weekly long that's still in the money, man. And I'm just using the 200. When we got above the 200, I went long on the weekly. Really simple stuff. A lot of people say what they're going to do. I show you what I'm doing. It's a big difference. Those who say don't know. Those who know don't say. Hey. Bitcoin, baby. Never give up on the BTC. The best money in the game. Digital freedom. It takes energy and puts it in the best form. It takes basically, you work really hard, put your energy somewhere, and years later you come back to that energy and it's worth way more than you gave it. The dollar never did that for me. Every time I gave my energy to the dollar, I came back to my pile of money and it was less money. I had to convert that dollar into something of value. Like you're better off buying a lemon and then, making lemonade and then selling the lemonade. You see what I mean? That is the simplest form of making money. But think about it. So entrepreneurs make the most money because human energy is currency, not money. People don't realize that. So find a way to put your energy out there. If you have a business that takes a lot of your energy and it's done, and I always talk about how manifestation, it's not just working hard, it's working hard with manifestation. Look, this could make a nice little flag here. I'm watching the 1 minute, I'm watching the 3 minute, I'm watching the 15. I'm going to study these charts throughout the afternoon. It's going to be an interesting week. It smelled bullish. The weekend started to show us that there was some bullishness coming. The tight consolidation, the fact that the CME didn't go too crazy at the 6 p.m. call, it kind of calmed down a little bit. Shout out to my wife, another shirt she bought, I think for $7 at the thrift store, man. Act 2. Really like it. Appreciate that. She's been now I have a whole wardrobe from the thrift store. I think 6 shirts now for between $5 and $10. And they're nice. High-end stuff, good stuff. You don't gotta buy new. I don't care how rich you are. You could be the richest man in the world and still enjoy a $7 shirt, man. Why do you gotta have you know what I mean? Oh, I could never buy thrift. That's disgusting. I must have brand new Louis Vuitton. My standards are so high. I'm sure there's people like that. I'm not like that. I'm about the world of what's worldly, what makes sense. I think that's what gets you the richest. If you want to really get rich, you move with the flow of the world. Recycled shirts are great. They're in good shape. They don't stink. They're in good shape and they ain't dirty. Ain't no problems. This thing's brand new, man. Looks like nobody ever wore it. And what happens is old people buy a lot of stuff. Sometimes they're obsessed. They buy 10 on one shirt, 5 shirts. They pass away. They never wore the thing. My wife used to work for this guy. He bought 6 of everything. He was obsessed. If he bought a pair of pants, he bought 5 of them. And then he had them all layered. If he bought a shirt, he bought 6 of the shirt. It was crazy what this guy did. He bought swim trunks, 5 pairs of swim trunks. He bought swim goggles, 4 swim goggles. He never bought one of nothing. If he liked anything, he bought 10 of it. And when he passed away, we had to go through his storage, and it was just like, when he packed and went somewhere, pair of socks, like for a weekend, 3 pairs of shorts. It's like he's going there for 2 nights. 5 of the same pair of shorts. The guy was nuts. Anyway, God rest his soul. I don't want to talk about one. I'm not going to say who he is. He was kind of a famous lawyer. He did some lawyering for the Yankees at one point. He was a big time lawyer. He was a savant, actually. Anyway, point of the story is, man, too much, it's too much, bro. I like the J. Crucino pants. I got into them. I bought every color: white, blue, baby blue, off blue, green, red, black. You know what I mean? It's nuts, man. I had every single color. I have 17 pairs of chino pants. Then I have off cocky, copper cocky, light cocky, dark cocky. It's like nuts. And you say, what am I so obsessed with this stuff for? You know what I mean? You wonder in life, man. It's cool to look nice. I was getting into colors and all that. Now I got everything under the sun. What the heck, man? I got every suit, every tie, every pocket square. Like, what? I got 3 pairs of Ferragamos I can switch off. I don't need any. I got it all. What else do I need? And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, like, what else do we need in this life, You'll get everything you want, and then what? You'll be stuck to the same place you were at before. Go shop and buy. Go shop and buy. Go get a Rollies. It'll look cool. You'll feel cool, I guess. If you're the type of person that makes people feel small when you have money, maybe the gold Rolex will make you feel good. But if you just like nice things, and it's really, to buy a Rolex is really just to say, I'd like to have something nice, and I have enough fiat, and the fiat's going down in value. That's the only reason I say buying a nice watch, But the allure of these things disappear. After your 5th nice watch, even your 2nd, 3rd nice watch, like, that rush of buying a nice watch kind of ends, man. Then it's about having a nice day with your kids at the beach. Those things you can't recreate. I just know I sat with my dad a lot and my mom. And when I was 28, 35, I'd come home. My dad would be sitting there, and he would always talk about how much fun they had when I was a baby. You'd be at the beach, and we'd give you, my mom, she'd get you all nice. Or we'd go to the beach, he'd talk about. And, probably, I'd say 50% of the time when I was with my dad, he talked about all the joy he had when I was a kid. From the ages of 2 to like 10 years old, and all the things he did with me and all the fun we had. And and he would laugh, and he's, And now that I have my kids, I hear my dad's voice, and everything they do, whenever I'm at the beach, whenever I'm doing anything, I hear my dad. And he's like, look at those beautiful kids, And, we cherish this life, folks. We do everything we can to be amazing parents, to provide for these kids, right? If you're locked in like me, if you're locked in like me and my wife, we're locked in parents. Like, we don't really have a big social life. We have 3 kids to attend to. And you could say that's unhealthy, blah, blah, blah. People come over, we hang out, we get out, we have a good time. But our family is it, man. My mom didn't have a big social life. Her kids were everything. There's other women that it's all about them and their gala, where they're going, all this, and they're, they always, no, I wasn't raised like that, man. Your kids are your number one. If your kids aren't number one, what do you have in life? I'll be honest, I'm so addicted to hanging out with my daughters that I can't do anything else if I wanted to. Like, you could be like, hey, let's come golfing. I got a great day planned, blah, blah, blah. I might do it here and there, but I'm not going to make it an every week occurrence. I love hanging out with my daughters. I'd be like, what about my daughters? Like, they want to hang out with me today. And, I live stream every day because I never want my kids to feel like they don't have something. I want my business to survive through all the ups and downs, no matter what. I want God to know I gave it my all. Every single thing I had, every time. And I never held back. And that's so important to me. And I think if you stick to those principles in life and you really hold true, You will end up successful. I promise you. You will. You will. Have faith that the good person wins. Have faith you don't have to rob, kick, and steal to win. Have faith that the little guy can win, man. That middle-class kid that grew up in America can become a multimillionaire and hobnob with the riches at the country club, man. You can get there. You can, you will. You are the best, man. I'm an unsung hero. I may look like the rich guy that came from the big money, but I didn't, man. I just play the role well. I just look good. But seriously, to some people, I mean, I'm not saying, But don't let anyone tell you can't. Bitcoin's going to kind of consolidate here. We're going to have to watch it for the next few hours. Stay alive with the trading group as we go through this Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. 15-minute looks like we're going to have to consolidate a little bit longer. But you never know. There could be some gains coming if we pay attention. Little bounce off the 21 is always good. This thing might rocket ship up to 67,680. It's high risk if you jump in at the end. Remember that. It's okay to miss the end pump. Because it's high risk. There's, Look, we sold 66.8. It's at 66.680. I mean, wow. We're not that far from the sell. Amazing. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for coming on in and being amazing. That's why I love Adam Sandler. He doesn't give a damn about what others say about him. He just wears whatever he wants. 100%. Dropped off my baby girl to daycare today, man. It was tough. I don't know why it never gets... Dude, every time I dropped off my daughter to daycare, bro, I would walk away and cry. You say, I don't care, man. Andrew Tate says don't cry, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And God bless. I hope everything works out with them. I feel bad. I don't know what happened, if it is or isn't, but I hope justice is served properly there. That's all I want to, you know what I mean? But, highest 4-hour chart RSI was 74 since April. It's at 70 right now. It could dump or freak bump from here. I see what you're saying. I like that you're on the watch there. I took a scalp on ETH, 15-minute bull div there. I like it. I like it. Bring your kids with you when you meet for golfing. I don't know. Kids while you're golfing? I don't know. Lifer at it again, making gains. Shout out to Red Baron. Quadruple sevens there. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother. Sammy Gaines always got me emotional, but it gives me so much motivation. It does, man. Hey, man, we're warriors. Us, man, are warriors for our kids, bro. We'll do anything for those kids. I just like to enjoy nature with all the toys. Me too, bro. The boat. Water skiing. Now, life doesn't get boring. You know what I mean? It's just the things that you thought were going to be amazing aren't as amazing, and the things that are amazing come back to you. Like your kids and just having good friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Sol on the 1-hour time frame, getting a bit of a push here. And that next big level there at 83 looks likely, and maybe you could send all the way up to 100. Right? Frisbee golf with the fam. I do like Sol. Sol looks interesting. Can almost make it real tight like this here. You can. Let's look at that 4-hour. It's kind of cool. It didn't pump all the way. Usually it pumps kind of viciously with Bitcoin. This time it didn't. It kind of gave you a second chance. It's like altcoins are saying, okay, well, let Bitcoin do its thing. Bitcoin will settle off, one more big pump, and then when people take profits from Bitcoin, they're going to buy altcoins. They're not going to go into AI, and they're going to be on some exchange or some, leverage platform, and they're going to move that tether. And so I see Sol coming down, and then, by the inverted head and shoulder, either pumps out with a dump or it comes down and pumps. But regardless, I see $100 coming for Sol. And I own 1,000 Sols, so of course, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know anymore if I'm here because of crypto insights or just motivation. Legend. Hey, man, however you got here and however you stay, that's the key. We're flipping the algorithm here when it comes to crypto trading. Everybody, I love you. May God bless each and every one of you for being here. We did it again all the way to 12 p.m. It was an amazing show. I don't know how I do it every single day, but we do. I take a deep breath. I still get anxiety, man, when the show comes on at 10:10, man. Even at 10 o'clock when the intro starts, I'm like, okay, I got to be ready for these people. I got to be on point. And I hope my trades from last night are playing out, man, you know. This time it worked out, man. I became the man, and I look smart. And that's because I show up every single day. Yeah. But I love you. I appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. Be amazing. Be awesome. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for another amazing, awesome live stream. May God bless you all. Reliable J, Aliens, my man, Zacharok, ITCPCK, DGenIX, G-Bane, all the awesome people that gave today, all the super chats that came on in and the fan funding. You people are amazing. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow for an awesome and amazing live stream. I'll see you inside the Discord. And if you want more, go to CryptoLifer.com. If you want to trade where we trade, we have a link to WEEX. Okay? And if you want to hit the pinned comment right here, we have a pinned comment where you can hit any of these things at any moment during the stream. Right here. You can go to WEEX or to CryptoLifer.com. Jump on it today. All right? Can't wait to see you guys inside the Discord or hanging out with me trading. May God bless everyone on the stream, and may you have a wonderful day. Thank you. And remember, the secret to success, it's getting started.